Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Atomic 67 channel, where we talk about everything Las Vegas and the surrounding area. Today's July 10th, and I'm down here at window tinting of Las Vegas. We brought both of our family cars here, and I'm going to tell you why and a whole bunch more. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so here's my wife's car, and it's pretty much all finished. They're just doing some last minute finishing touches on it. She has a Subaru Impreza. I know it doesn't impress ya. Ha ha ha. Little poor humor there. And Aaron, that's the guy walking through the door of the garage there, doing his best to try to avoid the cameras, but we catch him towards the end, don't you worry. And the other gentleman is Chris. Those are the two owners. We called them on the phone ahead of time. And Aaron spent about a good 20 minutes to a half an hour talking to us about their product and their business. And not only did they answer all of our questions, he volunteered additional information that helped us make an even more informed decision. So we decided that we were going to go with them after we came down and met them and looked in the shop and see what they're telling us matches up to what we expected when we walked in. And it did. So one thing that I do like is it's just the two of them, the owners, Chris and Aaron. They believe in their business, they believe in their product. They didn't try to upsell us. They showed us everything that they had, and they didn't try to make us buy something more expensive like the ceramic tint that we didn't really need. They recommended the CXP window film by SunTek, and we unanimously agreed that it was the product that would meet our specific needs perfectly and even exceed our needs. So let's have a look at the product sample boards that they had hanging on the wall. So I took a picture of them and just cut them out and put them on a different background for you. At the top on the left, the SunTek CXP 70%. That's the one I have on my front windshield, as does my wife. Now, it's virtually clear. It's not totally clear. If you didn't look at it as you're getting out of the car, you would never know the difference. On the rest of the windows in my car, I went with the 15%. So that's not as strong as 5%, but 5% I felt would be too dark because on my rear side doors and back window, I had already a factory tint on there. It wasn't terribly dark, and it was very ineffective. It didn't seem to do anything. But nevertheless, it was there, so I didn't want it to be too dark. So I went 15% all the way around, so my front windows are a little bit lighter than the back windows, but to me that looks fine because that's the way it is in a limousine. If you think of it, the back windows are almost black and the front windows are a bit lighter or clear anyway. So I'm not a teenager anymore, so I don't need to black out my windows in back of the car. If you get my drift. So now in comparison, and keeping in mind Nevada state laws, 35% is the lightest you can go on the SunTek High Performance. So they're blocking more light and UV by, it seems like, adding more darkness to the tint, if that makes sense. You're taking a risk putting that on your front windshield, and that's not just in my opinion, but it's in Nevada state law. They really don't want anything on your front window. So that's why I felt 70% was the safest choice. But that 35, that's going to catch an officer's eye. And if that happens, let's say you get into an accident and the insurance company discovers that you have the windows tinted with that, there's a good chance they may not pay for any damages on your vehicle because it's not supposed to be there, especially if you've had a problem at night. So that's something to keep in mind. And down in the description, I'm going to give you a bunch of links that are going to help you do your own research. And within those links is the Nevada state law, and it shows the different strengths that you can have on different windows. Now, I am by no means an expert in any of this, and that's quite obvious. I'm sure you'll agree. But we do have an expert that's going to say a few words about his opinion of the Carbon XP or CXP versus ceramic tint. And there's always a big debate on this. If you go online, it'll spin your head. And I'll talk more about that in the wrap-up. But let's go ahead and hear what Chris has to say.
You're going to get a great job at a fair price. We're not the cheapest. We're not the most expensive. And also you have the owners that are actually doing the work. And
Yep.
There's guys in the back that don't care.
Exactly.
We care about our customers. We built this business on integrity and our word. That's never going to change. It's just been me and Aaron in this shop working for 5 years now. And that's the way it's going to stay. So in my opinion, are getting gouged on the ceramic film. You know, people pay $500-600, and it's just not worth it. Anyone tells you if that's going to keep your car cooler when it's parked in the parking lot in the summertime, not happening, man.
So there you have it, straight from the horse's mouth. So here's the finished product of my wife's car. We got the 15% on the side window, and then moving along, you can see on the windshield the 70%. Not that much difference over the outside view on the left. You can definitely see it has a little bit of color to it, but overall it's not going to impede your ability to operate the vehicle safely. So here's a view of my wife's car outside the shop in the daylight, and it looks pretty darn good to me. However, I made a mistake. Go figure. My wife's car sent me here alone, and I made a mistake. So the back window was supposed to be darker than what I had instructed Aaron and Chris to put on there. My wife wanted like 5% on the back window. I told them to put 15%. I had my car and her car and all the tint colors mixed up, and I just, well, what can I say? But anyway, we called up the shop, we spoke with Aaron, and we told him of our error, that it wasn't their fault, it was my fault, and we'd like to have the back window corrected to what my wife originally wanted. So he said, no problem, bring it down, and it's going to go in tomorrow. Today is Thursday, July 11th, and we had called him today. So he said, bring the car down tomorrow, and we'll take care of it. And he was very nice to conveniently work my wife into his schedule towards the end of the day, and he's not even going to charge us. And we were fully prepared to pay the full price for one back window, and he said, no, he'll take care of it. I know there'll be a little bit of an argument because we're still going to give him something because he's working hard, and we don't expect him to eat any profit because of our mistake. My mistake, not ours. So just another testament to how they do business with the community, and I wish there was more businesses like this of all kinds that had this type of attitude. Okay, so moving along. I got to keep going because I have something really important to tell you at the end. So here's the bill for each of our cars. The base price was $375. The materials came out to $75, and then sales tax is $6.15. Labor is not taxed. So the labor was $300 for a total of $381.15. Now you might look at that labor cost and say, wow, that's a lot of money. But that labor charge is kind of a broad number, if you will. They take out of that profit a little bit of salary for themselves, and then they have all the overhead, keeping the products and the accoutrements to the products in stock, the air conditioning, the lighting, the shop rental, all of that stuff is in that charge. So when you think of it, they're really not making a whole heck of a lot off of us. And this was hundreds of dollars cheaper than the place we went to beforehand. And that place was Las Vegas Audio Tint Rims and Customs. They're into a lot of stuff. Unlike Window Tinting of Las Vegas, who just does window tinting. That's all they do. So when we walked into Las Vegas, window tinting, rims, pools, saunas, spas, and everything else, okay? Very fancy reception area, loaded with stereo equipment, you name it, they have it in there. Looks like a big operation, pretty impressive. I spoke with two gentlemen, one by the name of Ismail and the other Jeremy. They were very friendly, they were very informative to a certain degree. I feel overall they did their job very well. However, they asked for a deposit. Now that's the company's policy, I guess. So we gave them a deposit of $100. Now, this is where it's partly my fault as well. I should have asked if anything was to happen, is the deposit refundable? But I didn't ask, so it's partly my fault. But as the agent, you really kind of want to inform your customers and be forthright. Make a long story longer. I didn't see the absolutely no refunds on anything policy until I was handed the receipt. So that was a bummer because we had to cancel our appointment because we had a family member with a financial emergency, and we thought that we were going to have to pony up a good chunk of money. So window tint was not at the top of the priority list anymore. We thought we were going to have to deal with this. So I called them up, I let them know the circumstances, and even though the receipt said no refunds, I asked them if they would consider this an extenuating circumstance and grant the refund just this one time. So one of the employees we dealt with talked to the other one, and a day later he calls back and says, he has to wait for the owner to come in because apparently you can't reach this woman by phone, and she only comes in on Fridays, not even all Fridays. So when he can get a hold of her, he'll get back to us. So a week passed by, I called again, and nothing. He said that the owner did not come in last Friday, so he has to wait for the next one. I just find this bizarre that a business owner would leave the business to its own devices and let the employees run it. And I'm not saying that there's anyone dishonest in there, but it's just ludicrous to me. But nevertheless, I'm out the $100. So that financial crisis wound up being resolved, and we were able to get the money to have the windows tinted. But I'm not going to go back to that place. So that's when my wife found Window Tinting of Las Vegas. And it's a good thing that she did, because like I said, we saved several $100s. Now this other place, they have an odd way of calculating what's a window. So basically what they're saying is any portion of a window that is sectioned off is considered an entire window of its own. So all these little sections here, they charge each one separately as an entire other window. So there's 3 little sections on this side, there's 3 little sections on the other side, so that makes 6 additional windows. Now I should have been paying for 6 windows total, the front, the back, and 2 on each side. But because they do this little partial window trick, now I'm paying the full price for 12 windows, which raises the price astronomically. So there sure is a lot of places in the valley to get your windows tinted. But not all are created equal, and I don't think any of them will come close to delivering the quality and the service that Window Tinting of Las Vegas delivers. So it's not a bad drive from anywhere you are in Las Vegas Valley. Maybe make an afternoon of it. Drop your car off and go have some lunch. There's a Chinese place right next door. Now I can't vouch for it because I didn't eat there, so I'll leave a link down in the description. Go on over and check on channel 13 the Dirty Dining with Darcy Spears, and make sure it ain't on the list, because the last thing you want is for any other little unexpected problems to arise. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm sorry it dragged on too long, but I hope you got some value out of this video. And until next time, stay Vegas strong and take care of yourself. Bye for now. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing. Please click that thumbs up button too, and activate that notification bell, or I'll come to your house and sit on your couch in my boxer shorts. Thank you, and see you next time. Ciao, baby.